Uh, in this session, we plan to cover these many topics. So, what is the it's all about introduction to DBT and how to set up the DBT in our local machine, and the DBT architecture and how the DBT will work with respect to our project. And setting up, first of all, what is the difference between the DBT Core and DBT Cloud, and what are the offerings, what are the challenges setting up this DBT Core and DBT Cloud? Everything because all these topics are comes under the very introduction section of this DBT. So once we install the DBT, then we can try to set up a new project and configuring the DBT profiles. I will tell you what is a profile in the later of the section. And after the once the installation is done and setting up this DBT, then we will try to execute the DBT model. DBT model is nothing but it is a DBT component. It is a SQL expression. So it will store the output of the SQL expression. For example, if we are having the employee table. In this employee table, if you put select star from EMP means, so the output of the select star from EMP will store as a model. So this model, the output of this model will store in the target database. Target database means it may be a Snowflake, or it may be a Redshift, or it may be a Azure Snaps, or anything. So like that. Okay. So these are the topics we plan to cover in today's session. Okay. Okay, so the DBT is a separate tool. It is nothing related to Snowflake. We can integrate the DBT with Snowflake. Okay, so DBT is separate and Snowflake is separate. Snowflake is nothing but a cloud-based data warehousing tool where we can store all the data. And DBT is another tool. Another tool. If we are adding more words on this another tool, it is a ELT tool. ELT tool means we can, once the data got stored, we can do all kind of transformation on top of the stored data. Extracted data is there, and we already loaded the data is there, and on top of that, we will do that transformation. So that is called ELT. DBT is another ELT tool. Like Informatica, it is a ETL tool. We are extracting the data during the loading. We do all kind of transformations, and we push the data to target database. That is ETL. Right? Here the scenario is different. It is a ELT tool. We extract the data from any kind of a cloud source or any kind of a database. We extract the data and we load the data into the target database or data warehouse. This is completed. E and L is completed. And in the ELT also, DBT will work with this transformation part of it is not used in that extraction, and it is not used in that loading. It will work only for transformation. It is not used for extraction, and it is not used for loading. Only even in the DBT we can say DBT is a ELT tool, but it won't sit in this E or L. It will sit only with this T, transformation alone. It is not helpful for extraction, and it is not helpful for loading. Only for the T part is the DBT here. Okay, only the transformation only we can do with this DBT. Like ODA is there, right? So there are a lot of ELT tools available in the market, and DBT is that emerging tool in this market for now. It's a trending tool also. Okay, so what is the specialty of this DBT means? It's a very lightweight tool. In simple terms, DBT is a datable tool, and it's a translator that takes a raw data and organizes. So it is ready for analysis. See, we are having a lot of tables in the Snowflake. So if you are at the time of, if you are adding the information, if suppose if you want to do some analysis with the existing data, so that time if you are executing all the select statement, all the insert update statement means that time it will take so much of time. So the initially before executing that, before going to the analysis, we already have the data in our hand. So before going to the analysis, we implement all kind of business logic, and we create a separate table or view or some materialization is there with respect to DBT. We will tell that word materialization. So we will have the materialization that will place in the target database. Okay, I will tell you how that materialization will work and what is the materialization. Okay, it is a translator. So we already have the data. We are creating we are implementing the select queries on the data, and we are creating a table after that. So with the help of a table, the analysis team or data science team or the targeting, they can use that transformed data as a table and they can utilize it. So that is what this DBT is. Okay. So to understand this DBT, there are some prerequisites required. As I told earlier, if you are well versed with this SQL, then you are very much comfortable to deal with this DBT. And familiarity in kind of a VS Code terminal is there, right? Like that. It is not necessary to have that VS Code terminal, any kind of terminal. It is recommended. Okay. Suppose if you are having a more knowledge about the database, data warehouses, databases, and that is added advantage for to learn this DBT. Okay. In this DBT, we are having two offerings. One is DBT Core and other one is DBT Cloud. That day, Sandeep explained, right? So that is DBT Cloud. And now we plan to explain about this DBT Core. Why we are going for this demo purpose, why we are going for DBT Core means it is full of free of cost. We can do whatever things whatever things we can do it with DBT Cloud. We can do the same with DBT Core also. It is a CLI operation. Okay, so then DBT Cloud is also a 15 days of free trial is there. We can use the DBT Cloud for learning purpose. DBT Core is an open source library and that implements most of the functionalities of the DBT. Okay. In the same time, DBT Cloud is an interface solution for teams on top of the CLIs. It is having a friendly version of web-based IDE. Till now, any questions we have? So DBT, what is DBT Core and what is DBT Cloud? So this is the high-level difference between this DBT Core and DBT Cloud. Access, how we are accessing it, it is open source, and DBT Cloud is a SaaS-based and it is paid. Interface is a command line and it is web-based IDE. Infrastructure, we can set up our DBT Core in our local. We can do whatever things we want to learning purpose. And in my previous company, we have used a DBT Core only to develop the all kind of models. Why we are mainly going for DBT Core is it's a cost-based. In this DBT Core, it is not required. So what we are having our 15-20 developers are there. We do all kind of our development activities in the DBT Core. The main purpose only we are going for DBT Cloud is for the deployment purpose. So we can easily handle the deployment in the DBT Cloud. So for the development purpose, n number of hundreds of users, we can use this DBT Core and we can access the source database and we can do all kind of transformations with the models. Once this is completed, then for the deployment purpose, we are going for the DBT Cloud. Even the DBT Core also we can do the deployment, but deployment with the DBT Cloud, dealing with the deployment, it is really easy. That is the reason we are using the DBT Cloud, and it's a paid version, right? So if you are having 100 developers, if you are giving the access to the 100 developers, then our billing will go high. So we can avoid the DBT Cloud for the development purpose. And for the development purpose, we are going for DBT Cloud. And the community. So yeah, these are the normal things like Oracle and other databases that like that. We are having a strong community for this. I mean, DBT Core is a set of net because most of the users are using DBT Core only, right? So most of the users will face that issue, and they will raise their questions, and some other people can share the information and experience about the issue. So that helps us that helps the developer to provide a better code. Okay. And it is there are like Sandeep told, right? He simply click away. He is able to get into all kind of DBT code. And in this collaboration, it is for the DBT code we have to do the manual setup and additional features. So of course, it is there is a limited features of additional features. I mean, additional features in the sense, for example, like I said in the DBT code. We can do the deployment and we can do the scheduling and other kind of stuff also there. But in this DBT Core, it is not there. We have to set everything manually. Suppose if you want to deploy something, we have to set the things manually. Once each and every time it need a manual intervention. But in the DBT Cloud is not required. So we can do whatever things we want as per the scheduling and the DBT Cloud, the data quality and integrations. And then last one is support. Support is not required for us now, but there is support for DBT Core freely. Suppose if you want to have that information, suppose if you want to if you are having any issues with the DBT Cloud, then there is a paid plan also there. So DBT Cloud is net. It is, if you provide the, I mean, it is a cost based, so it is a paid version. So most of the guys don't use this DBT Cloud. Mostly the developers use this DBT Core. So that is the reason we are coming to DBT Core. Okay. So this is the high level difference. Once we get into this pitch, then we will come to know what is the advantages of this DBT Core and DBT Cloud. Both are having its own individual advantages and disadvantages. DBT Core means it is a free tool, but it is having limited features. DBT Cloud, it is a paid version, but it is cost. I mean, it's a paid version. It is cost, and also it is having some more features. So like that, we are having an individual advantages and disadvantages. Okay, this is how the DBT will work. Okay, for example, this is the DBT Core. See, as per our, as I told, DBT is a cloud-based ELT tool. Okay, cloud-based ELT tool. So in this ELT means we need the source data. So this is the source data we have, like Snowflake or Redshift, Apps Analytics, or any kind of. We get all the informations. We will get all the informations. For example, let's say we are using the Snowflake. In the Snowflake, we have created the storage integrations and file format, and we created the stages, and we pull all the data from Bucket or Azure storage into Azure blobs and everything. We pull the data and put it into the Snowflake till this place. It's still in this place. The data is already available. So this is called raw data. So raw data means we are pulling the data into DBT Core environment, and we are making this data, this actual data, this source data to raw data. So in this raw data, we are implementing SQL statement. SQL, it's a very straightforward, simple SQL statements only, like where condition, giant conditions, like that. Whatever business logic we need, I mean, for the analysis purpose, we implement, we are write the SQL query on top of this raw layer, in this raw layer. So at the end, what we will do, we will get a enriched output. Okay, enriched output. So this BI ML apps teams are use this enriched output. Enriched output means after implementing the business logic, whatever things are required for business intelligence and or machine learning or any kind of operations. So we implementing the we are doing the select over the raw data, and we create some result set. So their result sets are enriched one. That enriched result sets are used by this BI ML apps. So net it's a DBT is a ELT tool. We are having the source data, that is the raw data. We are pulling the source data into raw layer of DBT, and in between this raw layer to enriched data, we are doing this DBT core operation. DBT core operation, I will show you how the DBT core operation will work, and we will see. And at the end, we will get the enriched output for the target teams. We can have that n number of downstream systems also. So like that, we can share the output to the target teams. Okay, so this is DBT core. This is the kind of architecture of DBT core, the flow of our DBT core.
One more question. As you said, raw data.
Yes.
Will copy the same table from the source, or how it will be, or it will be used, or how it will go saved in DBT tool?
For example, this is the source data we are having. In this source data, we are having the employee.
Source data is given to say is EMS, or where it will be the Snowflakes, or where the source data comes from. Source data where,
no, the source data is present in Snowflake.
Snowflake, not in the AWS, right? Once we pull the data into Snowflake, so from the same Snowflake table is source data here, correct?
Correct. Okay. For example, we are having the employee data here. EMP data is there. Employee data. This is the source data. We pulled from CSV file to AWS or Azure blob to here. So the data is present here. Now we have one setup in DBT. So with the help of a DBT, we are telling to the DBT, now we are going to access the Snowflake. Otherwise, now we are going to access Redshift, or now we are going to access any kind of cloud warehouse database or anything. So like that. So we are just informing to the DBT, we are going to access this EMP data from here to here. Here, this is EMP, employee table. Here, we can have any kind of name. For example, it may be a silver layer. In the silver layer, we are having a raw data. Okay, it is nothing. It is whatever data, 50 records are there, and name and everything is there, means we can simply say this is a raw layer in DBT. In the raw layer, we are having all kind of data in this DBT. So this is Snowflake. It is having an employee table. It is having 50 records, and the same table we are pulling into DBT. It is a silver layer, it is a raw layer. In this raw layer, we are having the 50 records employee table. Okay.
For example, employee data and say for customer table, employee table, two different tables are there. Or one copy of the data will comes into raw, you mean to say entire data, or we specifically we can restrict on a specific.
It can restrict. Yeah, if you are put to only that select star from EMP means it will get a copy of, I mean, at the time you won't get the copy. We will executing the DBT model. That time only it will pull the data from Snowflake and it will create the model. We can restrict the data also. Either it is a select star from EMP only. If you create the raw data, select star from EMP, you have to create the raw data. I mean, employee means it won't come. After creating the raw layer.
No. Sorry, create means we need to create a table or we need to pull the data from source, or how it will be?
Yes, correct. We have to pull the data. The data is already.
Again, we need to write any SQL statement to data comes in, correct?
Correct. See, we have to write one.
We can do restriction from pulling data from source to raw. We can restrict the data using SQL, right?
Very well, we can do that. Very well. So while in the raw layer itself, we can restrict the data. Either, but usually what we can do is in our data warehouse scenario, we won't restrict any data. We pull all the data because
select star,
yeah,
right?
Select star from, yes, of course we can do select star from EMP also possible, and select star from EMP where department number equal to 50. That is also possible in this raw layer. Raw layer is nothing but another SQL statements. We are not going to get the exact copy of that employee. We are creating the raw layer. Within the raw layer, we can restrict the data. It is a kind of without any transformations, we are pulling the data. That's all. Suppose if you want to.
So SQL plays the role in between source to raw as well, not only from after raw to EMP.
Yes, correct. Okay. Entire DBT is, so if you know that SQL very well, any kind of SQL, then you can very well comfortably create the model. Okay, so this is how the DBT. Okay. You are seeing that things, right? So this is how it will work. We are having the source data and we are pulling the raw data from the source. From the raw data, we are implementing the SQL. Even here also we can do the SQL. Very well we can do that. But here they are saying for that high level they are telling we are having the raw data. We are implementing that SQL models here. On top of that, they are creating that enriched data, and at the final we are creating the tables or view or any kind of materialization. I will tell you what is materialization with respect to DBT. Okay, finally we can create. It is nothing but we are sending the we are creating the enriched table or views, including the business logic, and that finally the business intelligence team or ML team or any kind of downstream system can access the data. So this is the overall high level picture of DBT. So till now you are clear, right? If you are having any questions, you can raise it. We can discuss it internally. It is not about telling or teaching us something. We can discuss it internally. Usually in this installation part, we won't get it involved. Usually that admin database, the DBT Core or Snowflake admins, so they only involved in this kind of setup operations. But now what we can do is we can do our own installation for our learning purpose. DBT is a very trending tool. Each and every day, if you are executing a model, each and every day you will get a lot of doubts. Then it will improve our knowledge, and that helps us. Okay, first of all, we have to install. We plan to install this DBT Core because the DBT Core is a very robust tool. We can do whatever operations we can, whatever operations we want. Okay. Project installation. So we have to install the DBT. and we have to set up the configuration. How we are going to set up the configuration? See, what is going to be this profile.yml? What is this DBT project.yml? So this kind of this profile.yml is nothing but a connection information. For example, we are pulling the data from Snowflake and pushing the data to Redshift, and this kind of connection information, whether it is a development or if it is a production, whether it is ELT. So those kind of informations will store in this profile.yml. Okay, it's all about it. I will tell you that I will show you the things very clearly in later part of the session. So the profile.yml, it is having the username and password and connection information about this source and targets. Okay, that is one thing. And DBT project.yml, this is the backbone of DBT entire model, where you are going to create the model and where you are going to test the model and what kind of materialization, maybe the target, either it may be a table or it may be a view, or it may be, because ultimately we are going to store the data. After implementing the business logic, we are going to create some object for that reference, for the querying purpose. It may be a table or it may be a view or it may be anything. So what kind of materialization we need? So those kind of information are required here. Okay, I mean those kind of information will be placed in this DBT project.yml. Okay, so this is write a model SQL code. So what is meant by model? Model is nothing but it is a kind of a SQL representation of that data. Okay, model test is nothing but suppose if we are during the transformation, we should not consider the null value. Suppose if the null values are come, suppose then, so all this kind of information we can deal it with this model test. So test incrementally, there are a lot of whatever things we can do it for the data quality checks we can implement during this test, and debugging the issues. Debugging the issues once during the execution, you will get a lot of issues. Those informations also we can easily deal with this DBT core and the DBT cloud also. So these are all the three major parts. You have to project initialization and configure the project and start the development. Okay, so now this is the till now we have explained about this DBT. What is DBT and offerings of the DBT, difference between the DBT core and DBT cloud. In the ELT, where the DBT is sit and what is the profiles.yml, DBT project.yml, this kind of information we have explained. Now we can get into the pitch, how we can install the DBT and we can see. Okay.